Welcome to the Irish EBF Auction Series Shout Out, and I'm delighted to be joined by Noel Meade. Thanks for joining us, Noel.
No problem. You're very welcome.
We have been speaking the last couple of weeks, and we've been talking about the graduates, as in the equine graduates that have come out from this series. But what role would you say this Irish EBF Auction Series has had in you coming back into flat racing?
Yeah, well, I think it's had a huge bearing on it, really, because, well, obviously because we've been quite lucky in the last couple of years with the horse we bought. But just at the moment, it's got the national hunt market has got very strong, and it's got very difficult to buy into at the minute. And we found that we were able to buy horses of better value on the flat front. And we've been lucky in the last couple of years, so we just decided to buy a few more of them over like this year. We've I think we've 12 or 13 or 14 2-year-olds now, and I intend to do the same again this year.
Yeah, okay. And is that, it's something that has paid dividends for you, so it's the obvious route for you to continue going?
Yeah, look, I've been lucky. The last couple of years, we've had a good one for each year. Last year we had, or the first year, I suppose, we had Helvic Dream, who came along, and like he's been a legend in this place because he never stopped improving and ended up winning a Group 1. So that was from a 12,000 beginning. So that was a big hit. And then last year we had a very nice 2-year-old called Elysium, and she ended up winning a Group 3 at the Curragh and being sold to an American owner, and he's left her with us. Unfortunately, we've had a bad run with her this year. Nothing has gone right. We've been struggling with her blood and with a kind of a deep-seated infection in her lungs, and hopefully we will get her straightened out before the end of the year. But like, she's still there, as the fellow says, and if we can get her back on track, I think she has a load of ability.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about her, Noel. Yeah, obviously it was disappointing in last time out, but as you say, you sort of know what's wrong. It's just to get her back.
Yeah, look, we started off very well at the start of the season, and things were great, and we were looking forward to running her in one of the Guineas trials, and we were hoping to run her in the Irish Guineas. And just about a month before the race, about a fortnight or so before the trials, we felt that she wasn't doing her stuff the way she should have been. And when we blood tested her, our bloods were wrong, and then we did all sorts of tests and this, that, and the other, and we've been working at it ever since. I thought I had her back right again, and we sent her over to Ascot, and everything went wrong that day, and the ground was too quick for her, and she ran very free, but she actually scoped wrong afterwards as well. So we're back to square one, and we're hoping now that we'll get her out before the end of August. She does want to cut in the ground. That's one of the we just can't run her on fast ground.
Yeah. When you didn't mention Noel, Lafayette has been very good since winning his series maiden, and won, at listed level, won I think 3 times since winning that maiden. Obviously ran at the weekend. Was that just a bit stretched too far, or did he not give his running?
No, I don't think so. We've been struggling for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks with something similar to what's been happening to Elysium. But the horses are just not right, and the blood tests are coming up wrong. And I think we tested him before he went, and we were happy with we thought we were happy, but he stopped too quick. The one thing that Lafayette will always do is he'll finish out, and he didn't finish out at all. Chris Hayes rode him, and he knows him very well, and when he found he wasn't right, he just eased him down at the end. But no, I don't think that was his race. He didn't run his race, so he's just on the easy list for a short while. Doesn't appear to be much wrong with them to look at them, but they're just not finishing out. So, look, it's not something I didn't have before, and it's probably not something I won't have again, but it's not every other trainer has it at some stage. But it's just frustrating when it happens, and you just have to sit and suffer and wait until you get out of it.
You mentioned Helvic Dream, the absolute star. How is he, first and foremost? Are you worried about him given these sort of signs with some of the other horses?
Well, after he won, we had a chat and we decided that he needs soft ground, and he grows a leg when he gets soft ground. So we felt that there was no point in keeping him up on a high the whole summer, just hoping that we might get the ground and we might get him. So we decided there and then after the Tallaght Gold Cup that we'd give him a complete break. So we gave him a break for the best part of a month, and he's back in training again now with a view to sort of running him in the autumn. He's entered in a few races. There's a race in France and Arc Weekend, which is a possibility. And he's entered in the English Champion Stakes. I know that's sort of flying a bit high, but we felt that if there's a chance of getting very soft ground, that as I say, would bring him into the reckoning. He's in the Irish one as well. I suppose in Leopardstown, the chances of getting that sort of ground there are pretty slim. But on his day, he's probably good enough to run or is entitled to run in those races if things go right. He's in tremendous form. I actually just got a blood test back from him today, and I just took a test on him to make sure. But he's absolutely in tremendous form, and I think the break is freshened him up well, and he looks well. He looks tremendous. So we're really happy with where we are with him at the moment.
And I mean, Noel, he beat Broome in the Tallaght Gold Cup, which was, of course, a dream Group 1 for you, Noel. But Broome has been dancing all these dances and won his own Group 1 in France. So the form is good form.
Yes, indeed. It was no freak, and look, we were lucky to have the likes of Colin riding him. And he said to me that day for the Tallaght race, and the parade ring before the race, he said, Noel, he said, I think we have a big chance here. He said, don't expect me to be early. He says, I'll be hitting this fella very late. And he says, I think on this ground we have a great chance of beating him. He said, because he said, I think I came too soon on him the last day. He said, when we were behind him, he said, I arrived there too soon. And the other time he ran against Broome, he had a very bad run his first run. We were very disappointed with it in one of his worst runs ever in Naas, his first run. Now maybe he wasn't as ready as I thought he was, but we thought he was well. And then he came out and he ran on very good ground, and he just didn't handle it that day. So really, to be honest, he's on his ground. His last couple of runs have been very good.
Yeah. I mean, you think of. He won his Irish EBF Auction Series maiden in Roscommon, then actually won the Irish EBF Median Sires maiden and beat Champers Elise, who's also a Group 1 winner. What a race that was.
It's quite amazing, actually. And a lot of the time I've been noticing this year, that the auction series maidens, they where you think because you're getting in because you're keeping the big guys out. In actual fact, they're very good races. They are very good races, and they're no easy touches.
And that's an attraction, isn't it? Again, as you mentioned, for going back, but also you probably get owners that are willing to reinvest with the prize money that's there in the range of horses. And while they're not easy touches, it shows that there's quality to be got, that you don't have to go spend $2 million on a yearling, to win at this level.
Yeah, look, they haven't won as yet, but we have a couple of very nice fillies this year that came in at low budget. Like we have a filly called Chestnut. She ran 5th in the Ballyhane Stakes, and really didn't get going until the race was over. I think the ground was a little bit quick for her, and she cost $7,000. So she was quite a steal as well. And I have another filly called Might and Mercy, who we bought in England, I think she cost 12 grand. So I think she's good value as well. I think she's quite a nice filly now as well.
I don't know if you seen your stats, but you've had about 68 runners, I think. 31 of them have been in the money since the series started in 2015, and you've made about 130 grand from the series alone, as well as then producing these quality horses. And it's interesting, you've gotten sales as well, haven't you, from just running well in these races that, like Elysium, but others probably as well.
Yeah, we've had a couple of nice touches, all right, because Elysium obviously was nice. She made quite a nice price.
Yeah.
And we sold a filly this year as a 3-year-old. She was second to Aiden's good filly that won the Prix de Diane, and her maiden, a filly by trying to think of her name now. I can't think of her name. But she went to America after her first run. She was second. She was a 3-year-old. She was having her first run. She was by Dawn Approach.
Yes.
And now she was lucky in the respect she turned out to be a half sister to the filly that was beaten in the Queen Mary that was belonging to that was trained by Wesley Ward. That Gavin's filly beaten the Queen Mary.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I suppose that helped to sell her, but again, it made her quite valuable as well, and it was again a nice move on. There's been plenty of money on the cards for Chestnutter as well, and their clients are there for there's money there for those horses if you can get the form up,
which is brilliant. Looking forward, Noel, you mentioned, will you have some of these? For some of the races, there's a couple coming up of the week, one in Naas on Sunday. We have a few more races, and then the closing date, or the early closing date for the final, is September 15th, which we need to remind any trainers who are thinking about it. Have you a few that you hope to get out, and a few you hope to get into that final?
Yeah, look, I have a couple that I would love to get in it, and I would love to run. I'd love to run on at the weekend on that race in Naas. I had two that I thought, but at the minute I'm just tied up a little bit. I'm going to take it easy this week, and we're going to have very few runners for the next 10 or 12 days. So that's just where I'm at. And although they're not sick or anything like that, I'm not happy with the way they're firing at the minute. So I just have to wait and suffer through it. So I don't think I'm going to have anything in that race. But I hope I will have them back in time for a one or two for the final anyway.
Yeah, that final, of course, is October 17th, 120,000. It's phenomenal prize money. And you were just touched off, I think, 1 year, Noel, weren't you, in the final?
Lafayette was beaten a short head again by a filly that had one of a filly of Willie McCreary's that won
Baba, yeah,
who ended up winning group races as well. So he was just touched off. Another stride he was up, but look, he's done okay now. He's come back this year and won the Lincoln and won that stakes race, and I think he can go on further. I'd be surprised. He's rated 100 at the minute, and I don't think that's the top for him yet. I think he still can get on a bit further. I put a line through his last run.
And just to touch, and we're coming to an end, but obviously the year has been a good year. The Group 1, which meant a lot, and as we touched on, you had a long time in flat racing with group winners and classic placed horses and winning in Royal Ascot. But you won as well in Cheltenham with Jeff Kidder, and I suppose he's won when you get back to over jumps that you'll be hoping he can step up. Obviously, it's a big ask, but he's improved definitely all the way.
Yeah, look at he was a revelation as the season went on. He just got better and better and better. I was actually looking forward to him coming back and running in a few flat races because I think he's reasonably well handicapped at the moment, and I think there's a few flat races in him. Like I was hoping that he'd end up sort of winning a few, but he got held up with this sort of whatever the hell is holding us on. So I have to wait. But look, he's looking into it. It's a tough year for him this year because as a hurdler, because he's a 4-year-old turning, it's not a simple year for them. He has to go and play with the big boys now, and that's not going to be that simple, different, or not going to be simple. But look, he's in good form, and if he stays healthy or gets back healthy again, I'm sure he'll acquit himself well.
conclude, Noel, you're looking forward, obviously, to a bit of juice getting into that ground for some of your horses, and just that they're healthy and well. And you're going to spend a few more, Bob, at the sales, and hopefully pick up a nice few pots in the Irish auction series, Irish EBF auction series before the year is out.
Well, I'm hoping we will. Like, hopefully we get them back on track again. Like, it started with a great spring, and then the next thing, this has just slowed us down now at the minute. It had been sort of hitting me for a while, and it's just, I've been pitching my way through it, but I just now got to the stage where I just had to stop and wait. So hopefully we'll get back on track before too long, and we'll be back firing on all cylinders. We have a few 2-year-olds we like to run, so I'd like to get them out if I can. And yeah, I hope we'll be able to buy a few more. Yeah,
that's great. Well, listen, it's been going very well the last few years. Hopefully it will. Thanks a million for agreeing to chat, and we got through it despite a few technical difficulties. Thanks a million, Noel.
Okay, Daragh. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.